Good morning, it's March 28th, and we're going to be talking about some of the data we've gotten in recently, but we'd be cautious on betting on. The latest consumer confidence reading from the Conference Board ticked up in March to 104.2 from 103.4, but we really want you to think about when that survey was conducted. It's a weekly basis throughout the month, and the cutoff date of the survey was March 20th. So it means about half of the responses from the survey were prior to the bank failures in the middle of the month. And so I would actually think, looking to the next reading, we're going to see some downward revisions to the March data as we get the next release. Same thing when we think about, the question people asked was, what are the consumer plans for spending over the next 6 months? And the results are showing that consumers are planning on reducing their spending on highly discretionary categories. So we're talking about restaurants, hotels, movies, other entertainment, those kinds of services, the activities that people have been spending on. They're saying, you know what, we're going to hold back a little bit on that. So the consumers now, if you're thinking about the spend trends, we'd be a little bit cautious betting into that right now. In terms of the other parts that we've been watching, we've noted that, materials first were totally down. Everyone was puking them. And you've seen a little bit of a rally here. But we want to get to the Longbow dashboard to say, okay, if you've been thinking about materials, or if you put on a trade in materials, what should you be doing from a technical perspective? So let's head over to the dashboard. So in terms of the dashboard, what I've given you today is just a few ETFs. You have DBA, so that's Ag Fund. You've got the commodity index, the DBC, and then corn I put out, and then gold. Why did I put out the first three? Well, those were on the top 25. If you look to the right-hand side of that page, asymmetric results to the downside. So this isn't the day to be buying in them. If you bought them as a trade, they're showing overbought, the white lines to the right of the red line, and you're getting odds of minus 2.7 to 1, minus over almost, minus 5 to 1, corn minus 12.3 to 1. Again, and that one's, it's pretty much at the top end of its range. I think it was earlier. So you want to be super careful about, keeping on those trades, because you can see here, short term, these have been neutral. And then medium term, you're looking 2 out of 3 being bearish. So let's get to DBA here. You can see you've had a bit of a trajectory back up, but then, part of that's been in a more downward slope. So you see a bump up here, but we'd be cautious about, making that unless you have real fundamental views for the intermediate term. Some people do in terms of the supply and demand, but if you're trading this, be careful. And then we also put gold in there because the gold bugs, and where are we? We're pretty much in the middle of the range. So if you've been like us holding gold for a bit here, you're obviously bullish short term, bullish medium term, middle of the range, nothing to do there today. So not the day to put on a position, not the day to take off the position, unless fundamentally you have very, very strong views versus having a technical view. That's it for today, and we'll catch you back tomorrow.